Someone gave you a random palette. Do you think you'd be able to guess the character it belongs to? Well, that's what I tried to do. I asked my friends Spicy and T to give me 3 palettes each that they will take from some characters, and my job will be to draw who I think it is. I give them media freedom. They could pick any character as long as they were sure I knew them. As soon as I put my hands on the palettes, I immediately noticed a big difference between T and Spicy. Whoa. Hold up, this is like 69 different characters. What is this? T was a sort of an easy mode, and the contrast with Spicy slapping the colors randomly on the canvas was insane. I had to sit down and stare at the palettes for a long time before finally deciding who to go for. I made a little template, so I could put all the characters in one canvas, and I immediately proceeded with sketching. I started with these possible characters and put them on the top part of the canvas. You can pretty much already see my picks, but here I started with Itadori, which seemed to be the most obvious out of all of them. And honestly, I was happy T picked him, cause I love him so much and I really wanted to draw him. I already had a pose in mind for him before I even started drawing, so I started pretty confident. I struggled with the line art because I feel like the size of the brush was too big, but it ended up being alright in the end. I also set myself up with the way I decided to put down flat colors, cause it ended up taking too much for each drawing. Rendering is always a moment of relax though. I wasn't sure if I wanted to draw backgrounds at first, but I decided to go for it, to give a little bit more personality to each drawing. The second pick was the hardest since I felt like so many characters could have this palette, so I decided to go for Hatsune Miku, since I know the love T has for Vocaloids and I'm personally a fan too. As you guys might have noticed, I gave up the overly anime style and went back to my usual art style for comfort. I was practicing that style, but it ended up not feeling so comfortable, so I went back to my little cozy box. Miku is one of those characters whose design is not too simple but not too complex, so I had a lot of fun with her. Third character got me a little confused because looking at this, it looks so much like Yoru from Valorant, but he doesn't play it, nor knows anything about the game. At least that's what I thought. But I still decided to go for it no matter what. I also ended up playing him a little bit before recording this, so the timing was pretty ironic. For each drawing, I ended up changing the size of the brush to make it smaller and smaller each time, but it still felt like it wasn't properly working. Maybe I should have just used a different brush. Surprisingly, Yoru came out extremely well, and he is probably the one that came out the best out of everyone. Playing him gave me a sort of art buff that I always wished to have. Maybe I should play him a little bit more. Now this was hell. Saying I was lost is underestimating what I was feeling looking at these colors. I was so confused but also had so much in my mind, I just decided to follow my heart. I went with Dan Heng as first pick. I always kept in mind that Spicy would only give me character they like. It's useless to say that design wise I could not be asked to put in the effort. I didn't want to waste too much time, so I decided to do everything in a way that it wasn't too detailed, but it wasn't too plain either. And I think I did a decent job with that. Nuvelet. I feel like I did his whole design wrong, especially since I gave up on references while drawing the line art. By this point, I just wanted to get it over with, and I did not end it anytime soon. Later on, I realized that it made no sense with the bullet I was given, and I was too far in to go back. So I just decided to hold my tears back and keep going without thinking about it too much for my own good. The last one was a little bit of a funny story. I actually started by thinking it was Raiden May, or any of her battle suits. Then I thought about Raiden A, and even thought about Acheron, but as you guys can see I did not go for any of them. Instead I went for Aizo, and the reason is simple. When looking at his hands when playing a match, I noticed that the purple of his gloves kinda fit with one of the purples Spicy gave me. So I scrapped all the previous ideas and went all in for Aizo. Honestly, I feel like I could have done him a little better, but I can't complain too much when thinking about the fact that the time I had to finish all of this was pretty limited. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with the results, and I think I did a fair job with all of them. But for now, let me show you the results. Now it's time for the review. For T, I got a total of 2 out of 3. It was not Miku, but Eula instead. And the thought of her honestly did not touch my brain, but makes sense since T really likes her. For Spicy, it was an embarrassing 1 out of 3, with the only satisfaction of me guessing Aizo last second. This was not Danhong, but Su from Honkai Impact. And this was not Nuvilette, but Bronya, also from Honkai Impact, specifically Silverwing. This was kinda mean. I didn't think about any of them. I had an overall of 3 out of 6, which is not bad, but I'm never doing this again. Give me here. I did say about Danhang. Did I say Danhang or did I say Danhang the first time I mentioned him? Because at the start I feel like I said Danhang because when I said Danhang it did not make sense. Whatever, whatever. Who cares anyway?